Thank you.
thank you so much for taking a minute out to talk about the new album, and
Thank
your
you for
world of
inviting
music.
me.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get into the latest album, Kaleidoscope, I want to begin with 6 years ago, living through this pandemic, going through that era changed musicians so much. How did you
Yeah.
get through that era, and how has it changed the way that you create and do things today?
So I was finishing my studies then. I did a second master degree during that time. So I had anyway something to do. And I was very lucky because in Switzerland we had some options for funding. So musicians could keep working or play some concerts with streaming and things like this. So it was not such a big financial problem. I think it changed the live music a lot. And I realized when the concerts started again that it got much harder to play international than it was before. So I think I only realized that when the pandemic was already over and the concerts started again, that it changed a lot and gigs were planned 1.5 years in advance when it before were maybe 6 months. So this changed very much.
So, talk to me about the new album. What was kind of the vision and the overall approach to going about this album?
Yeah, I played already solo concerts for some years, and it was clear for me that at some point I want to record it. And it took me some time to find the trust in myself to do so. And it was just the point where I felt like I have a repertoire that is basically an album. So I need to record it now, or I will never do it.
So, you also have a tribute to Bill Frisell. Talk to me a little bit about your history with listening or any history with Bill.
Yeah. I have sadly never seen him live so far. So my history with Bill is listening to his recordings. And I admire very much his ability to giving every single note as much space as she needs or as it needs. I think that's something really special. He has a great feeling for that, for leaving space and letting notes um, sound. And when I composed this song, Bill, for the intro of it, I had this in mind. I wanted to leave a lot of space, and I thought about the way Bill Frisell does this.
So, I got a very interesting COVID story on March 3rd, as we were here in America starting to hear about the first cases of COVID coming through. I went to an art museum called the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art in Kansas City,
Hmm.
and Bill was going to be there with the trio. And I
Yeah.
remember going to the show, and my wife is never she's getting into jazz because of me, because this is what I do. And she was like, "What's the show going to be like?" And I was like, "I have no idea." Like, I can typically go into a show and I have some level of what they're going to do, but with Bill Frisell, you just don't know. I have never seen anybody play the guitar the way he does. He was plucking, like he was pulling the strings out of the fretboard. It was one of the most intriguing things that I've ever seen with someone on a guitar. It was amazing.
Wow, I wish I could have seen that.
Yeah, well, it was my last show before the pandemic happened. So when I
Okay.
was during that time period when I did a lot more interviews, I was talking about everybody's last gig
Hmm.
or last experience before things shut down. That was my last show experience. So it was
Yeah.
quite a big deal. But yeah, does he come out to? I'm sure he comes out to Europe quite a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think there will be the chance at some point to hear
yeah,
him.
yeah.
I'm confident about that.
Absolutely. So speaking of Bill and getting into his music, take me back to your beginnings. How did you get into music and who were some early influences?
Yes, so I was into music all my life. I started playing instruments very early at the age of 5 or 6. And I finally found the guitar as a teenager. And it was very fast clear for me that I want to play guitar for a living. I loved it so much. And I started studying and I still loved it. And I became a guitarist. and I'm really in love with the instrument guitar. I don't think I would have studied music with another instrument. I identify very much as a guitar player. And yeah, should I be more specific
No, no, no,
or
no, you're good. And I'm curious, what was the first live show, jazz show
yeah.
you saw that blew you away?
Yeah, that was Alan Holdsworth in Berlin. And I think I didn't understand anything what I heard, but it made me be interested in getting to a point where I could understand it. It was really my first jazz concert, and I was really overwhelmed by it, but I can remember it very well.
So talk to me a little bit about your love of this music. What do you like the best about being a professional musician? What gets you up every day? What motivates you to be in this world of jazz?
So jazz is a music that where I feel like you are never finished learning new stuff, and I love that. So when I learned my first jazz song in my guitar lessons, it was a song by Charlie Parker, and I was like, I don't understand anything. What I see on the notes is not what I hear in the recordings, and it made me feel like, okay, yeah, a lot of secrets I can get to know, and that never stopped. The more I get into jazz, the more I feel like there's so much stuff I can still learn, and I love that very much. I think it's just awesome.
So let me ask you this. You've been the recipient of a number of prizes, a number of awards. What have those done for you in your career? Have those been kind of stepping stones for you to get to other places in your career?
Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, it would be enough to play well to make a living, but I think it's just the reality that there are so many musicians and much less options to play gigs. So yeah, sometimes it helps to do some name dropping or have some prizes.
Yeah.
I wish it would be different, but
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, I get it. So what's the European jazz scene like these days?
Um, I feel like we are still recovering from COVID.
Yeah.
So there are still the situation that clubs book very, very far in advance. What's often for us musicians not so easy because it's difficult to plan a tour now, which will happen in 1.5 years or even 2 years. And I think we still also have a bit of a problem that, especially an older generation, found out during COVID that it can also be nice to stay at home. So we are fighting very hard to get this part of the audience back. But during the last half year, I felt like it is really getting better now. At
So
least with the clubs I'm involved
yeah.
with we see it getting better.
So let me ask you this. If you could get into a time machine and go back in time and see any performer anywhere, a dream jazz show, where would you go?
Yeah, it's not jazz, but I would like to see Jeff Beck.
Okay. Excellent. So why do you love jazz? Why do you love this art form? This is definitely a genre where
Mhm.
it can be more difficult as far as making a living. What is it that you love so much about jazz in this community?
Yeah, um, I think I'm not sure if I would say that I'm only playing typical jazz stuff. I feel
Sure.
like I'm the most identifying with jazz, but I take a lot of stuff from other genres when I play music myself, but it's always improvised music. So I feel like jazz is the best genre to explain what I'm doing. And one part is what I already said about never stopping to learn. Another is that I just love the music. I love listening to jazz. And also, I find it very nice that you can come together with musicians you never seen before on a jam session, and we all have a repertoire we share, and we can just play music together.
So everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, fans, everyone you play with on the bandstand, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I'm not sure about perception, what it exactly means. I'm
It
sorry.
means people have an idea of who you are. People have this notion you play a role in people's lives as a musician, as a
Hmm.
family member, as a friend, but ultimately you're the one that's living your life. What is your idea of who you think you are?
On the one hand, I see myself as a composer and musician who plays live and records music. And a lot of the music I record is compositions by mine because I feel like it is really, really fun to write music and bring it to life together with other musicians. And on the other hand, I also see myself as an educator. So I teach jazz guitar at a conservatorium here in Switzerland. And it is a big part of my life also to help other people learn how to play jazz and especially jazz guitar.
So, if anyone wants to get a copy of Kaleidoscope, they want to catch you live, any of the other good business, where do they go?
Like Kaleidoskop, you
Yeah,
can also you can also get it. You can also um, get it in the internet, but right now I cannot send anything to the US,
okay,
sadly. So it's not possible right now. But
okay,
generally, you can order it on Bandcamp or directly on my website if you want to.
okay.
And there will
That's
be vinyl very soon, within the
okay.
next few weeks.
I will put links to your website and I will put links out there in the show notes. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much. It was great to meet you. Thank you for taking some time out today. I look forward to profiling this on Neon Jazz.
Thank you. That's it.
Neon Jazz.